Rolling Stone needs some clicks. Joker Voice tore into their list. Let's talk about what's going on over at this. These titles and articles are so silly and yet so fun at the same time. Black Panther voted greatest superhero movie ever, and Zack Snyder fans aren't happy. One, Black Panther is so far from the greatest superhero movie ever. It's not even in my top 5 MCU films, and the Zack Snyder fans are basically unhappy all the time. So the headline is just silly. But let's go through all this stuff that's over here. Why not? MovieWeb's got an interesting summary of everything that's going over here. It's talking about Rolling Stone putting together a list that put Black Panther at the top, which is absurd. Justice League was at 50, which, I don't know if 50 of it or not, but reality is that's the thing. So yeah, who cares? Yeah, all of it's just ridiculous. Neither Black Panther nor Justice League need to be in the top 5 of that list, like let alone maybe not even top 10. I don't know. Yeah, the list included things like Wonder Woman and stuff, which again, just really, really silly. But yeah, Snyder fans are meme makers. They're always unhappy. I don't understand why anyone even remotely cares. Their list, let's see. It led a pack that includes the likes of Spider-Man 2, which should be on the list, Superman 78, which should be on the list, Christopher Nolan's seminal Batman movie. Why do we need seminal in there? Dark Knight, probably one of the more rewatchable of the movies. I'm not sure it's, but definitely one of the most rewatchable. So the entire top 10 was Black Panther, Spider-Man 2, Logan Endgame, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Ragnarok, Wonder Woman, and finally The Incredibles. Of the top 10, Spider-Man 2 would be in the conversation. Superman 78 would be in the conversation. Dark Knight, Wonder Woman's fine. Incredibles is also fine. Would not probably put Incredibles or Wonder Woman in my top 10 for sure. Maybe my top 20. Endgame, ridiculously overrated. Infinity War is far superior. And the first Avengers is probably among the top 10 because it is probably one of the best popcorn movies ever done. It really, really is rewatchable and fun and captures all the essence of superhero comic book reading, all that kind of stuff. Thor Ragnarok is incredibly overrated. And once you see Tessa Thompson's version of Valkyrie as this irritating and horrible character that she actually is, the movie starts to unravel into kind of a mess. Thor doesn't act like Thor anymore. It's the gateway for Hulk to not be Hulk anymore. It's just, there's so many elements that are wrong. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is fine. I liked it more when it initially came out than my rewatch, but I don't hate the movie either. I still think it's worthy of like top 10. So that was that's my general take on that. Yeah, Batman, Suicide Squad, Iron Man make up the rest of the list. Again, ridiculousness. Iron Man 2008 is fine. I know how many people love that movie so much. For me, it doesn't make my top 5. They do mention Days of Future Past, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Deadpool, the animated Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Hellboy, Crow, V for Vendetta, Unbreakable, and RoboCop. Okay. RoboCop was a movie before a comic book. That shouldn't count. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy should be top 10. Guardians of the Galaxy is a phenomenal film. It holds up exceedingly well. Logan did not hold up well. I'm going to do kind of get through that. Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. If we're including the animated movies like Incredibles, I think Mask of the Phantasm is far superior. Best Batman adaptation ever. Crow and V for Vendetta are great. Yeah, Days of Future Past, I can't get there with them. The original X-Men 2 is probably my favorite of that franchise. Let's see here. There's other crazy things that are mentioned here, whatever. But yeah, they're going to go. As for the Black Panther, the MCU offering remains the highest rated movie in a long running franchise. It's such a sandbag thing, depending on what you're looking at for your meter. Because if you're looking at stuff the critics did, they just felt like they were white guilted into not bashing that movie. It's a very generic MCU origin film. I can't stand the CGI fight at the end of that movie. It's just, it doesn't hold up well at all. And it's no discredit to Chadwick Boseman or Michael B. Jordan, who are both fantastic, as well as most of the cast. Just not that impressive. It's just not that good. So that's my take on that. Yeah, Wakanda Forever is a dog trash. It's just trash. All right, so that was that list, and then it goes to most influential. This was July 15th. July most influential superhero movies of all time. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And see Iron Man's in the thumbnail. Like, okay, well, that's actually a pretty good list. That's pretty good. Blade 98. Okay, I can see that to some extent. Black Panther. Ugh. Best marketing of a superhero film. Best marketing of all time until Barbie came along. X-Men 2000. Yeah, kind of a game breaker, game changer for sure. Spider-Man 2 more than Spider-Man 1, but I guess you don't get the first one. Deadpool, big rated R film, broke all the bubbles. Avengers I talked about. Superman 78, of course. Batman 89 is the game changer. There's no superhero stuff if that movie didn't change the game moving forward. And Dark Knight, and then of course it's got to be Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man made the MCU. Yeah, fair enough. Then they get an article here. So their article just kind of keeps going back. Things like that. So that was my take on it. Look, fans like to feud. Fans like to fight. Fans like to bicker. Fans like to talk about what's best. So I didn't really give my top 10. My top 10 would probably include, I don't know about order because order is tricky. I'm probably going to put, it's probably going to be Superman 78, the original Guardians, the Avengers because of the rewatchability popcorn factor, Dark Knight being rewatchable. Those are the four at the top. Spider-Man 2 for what it did. That's fine. As far as MCU goes, I put Guardians in that top list, but I think the best MCU film is probably Winter Soldier. So that's my top. That's like the top on. Infinity War would be in the conversation. I think Blade in the conversation, Crow's in the conversation, for sure. Batman 89's in the conversation because of the influence factor. So we kind of have to determine what our criteria are going to be. Like, how do you define those kind of criteria and that kind of thing like that? But to put things like Justice League or anything like all of that stuff is so overrated. All the Snyder stuff is incredibly overrated. Wonder Woman is probably the best of the group. I could keep going, and I don't think I'm going to get to Wonder Woman anytime soon. So I probably don't have her in my top 20, to be honest. I just don't. There's too many other films that have been done. Comic book movies people don't think about, like Men in Black. Men in Black is way superior than all those Snyderverse movies. I rewatch Men in Black way more often than I do those things. So all of that stuff probably is definitely in that list. Batman Begins is probably in that list ahead of Wonder Woman. I rewatch Batman. I think Batman Begins, it is sluggish in some ways, but it's also very grounded in ways. Similar to like Iron Man. Like I just feel like it's very much a very good adaptation, sort of like a nexus point to move a franchise forward and a good launching pad, so to speak. So that's good. It's very solid. So, and I probably could come up with a ton of others. It's like one of those lists where I have to look at like 50 movies and then figure out how to order them and rank them based on whatever criteria we want to come up with. But clickbaity Black Panther versus Snyderverse stuff, please. These are two groups that don't deserve to be in the conversation. Go to the kiddie table where you belong. You're out. Out. I'm Pops.
Yeah. Right? And I'm not playing no